What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hoop Talk. Today, we got a lot to talk about, especially in the Western Conference. The playoff race is heating up. We'll talk about a lot of the Western Conference teams like the Clippers, Lakers, Suns. A lot of stuff happened after the trade deadline, like with the buyout market. We already talked about all the trades that happened, so you guys can go check out that episode that we did before on that. But today, we'll just talk about the effect that all those trades have had on the teams that did make trades and the players that did move to new teams, how they've been adjusting to that, and how the team has done regarding that trade. So I think first we'll talk about the Clippers and kind of like the new moves they made. They traded for Bones Highland. They got Mason Plumlee, Eric Gordon, and then they also signed Russell Westbrook, which was a big story a couple weeks ago. And yeah, so let's talk about that first. You wanna get us started that one? Oh, also like peep the new sign in the background. If you guys are only listening to the audio right now, make sure to head over Spotify or YouTube. Go look at our video right now. We got a nice Hoop Talk LED sign in my background. It's pretty nice. So go check that out if you're only listening to audio right now. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean he's played well, I think like for what he was expected. He has the highest true shooting percentage out of his whole career so far while playing there. Obviously there's still some lingering issues with the fact that the spacing isn't always great. So you have to put lineups out there, a lot of 5-out stuff. Him and Zubac can't really be played out there at the same time. But yeah, man, he's looked good. He's looked good. I mean, he wasn't even playing bad for the Lakers before he got cut. So
Mm,
I mean, he had a good last game. I mean, he wasn't playing like atrocious. Like
he
it wasn't
yeah,
like we need to get this guy in the league offense.
it
There's a
wasn't
reason teams
yeah.
wanted him.
He wasn't playing terrible. It's just obviously, the fit with the Lakers. I mean, he fits much better with the Clippers,
Yeah,
even though
they have much.
it's not like significantly better, but it's much better with the Clippers because they actually have. Well, actually, now the Lakers have improved their shooting, but before the trades and all the trade deadline stuff, the Lakers were one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the league, which is terrible for us because all Russ does is he can get so many open looks for guys whenever he drives in to the paint. There's so many. There were so many opportunities for Lakers shooters where he would drive in and kick it out. They would have wide open threes, and he wouldn't get those. They wouldn't they would get those open looks, but they wouldn't be able to hit them. And the Clippers are a team or they have those shooters, and they're able to hit those shots. And I think, everyone was talking about how, since they got Russ, they've been, what is it like? They've been 3-6, and they were like they're 0-5 before that, before the last, before the last 4 games. So, I mean, I definitely don't think all of those losses are maybe, I mean, I don't know if any of them really, you can put all the blame on Russ. I feel like there's only maybe one of those games where you could definitively say that he played a very large part in their loss. But regardless, I mean, other than that, I feel like he hasn't played bad. And maybe it's just like, I don't know. He hasn't had too many turnovers. He's been shooting the ball like relatively efficiently. He's been getting like his usual assists, rebounds. He's been getting like 14, 15 points a night, which is pretty good for the role that he's in right now. So I don't think it's fair to put the blame on him for the losses that they had early on, like when they first got him. Obviously, like the first 2 were in OT against the Kings and the Nuggets, were the top 2 teams in the West. Obviously, very tough games. And then they lost the Timberwolves, Warriors, Kings right after that. So also all of them very good teams, except maybe the Timberwolves and sometimes the Warriors. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's fair to put all the blame on him for those losses, and maybe just one of them. I think his 3-point shooting also, I mean, obviously it's not going to improve overnight, but he's still shooting the three ball like about 3 times a game, and he's not making a lot of them. But I mean, like even his normal shooting numbers, they're kind of inconsistent, but most of the time he's been shooting pretty well from the field. Like if you look at his last maybe excluding the New York game where he shot 37%, but the last like 5 games is like 50%, 45, 75, and then like 45, 60, 53. So it's not bad. That's actually very, very good, very efficient numbers. He's been getting his rebounds, his assists, but yeah, like you said, man, look, he's getting like at least 3 turnovers per game. Like the last 2 games, he's had 3. He had 4 before that, 5, 4, 4, 2, 7. So yeah, I mean it's just the turnovers. But like, how do you think he affects like? Well, how do you think he fits into this Clippers offense, really?
I mean, he creates downhill pressure, which is like that was kind of the idea when they brought in John Wall at the beginning of the season, is that he was somebody that could create open looks, and you wouldn't have to play iso ball like the top of the key essentially. So he could push in transition, that could create more 3 opportunities for the shooters they have on the team, and he's been doing that. So yeah, I mean, obviously in the half court, there's going to be some liabilities that team can expose, but I mean, you got to like with the personnel that's available to you, you kind of just have to move around and work with what you got.
Yeah, man, bro. I love hating on the Clippers. I love doing it, but
Yeah.
I'm still gonna hate on him. But I mean, I don't gotta. I'm not gonna hate on Russ though. I'm gonna hate on Kawhi, PG, Steve Ballmer.
Whenever they play, you can hate on them.
Yeah.
If there's 3 games in a week, then PG and Kawhi are going to play one of them.
Hey man, bro. People when they played in like they played in one back-to-back, and everyone was like congratulating them, like congratulations on JJ Redick's podcast. Paul George came on, he was like, JJ was like, man, congrats like on playing that back-to-back. Like I know your knees were hurting and it just took so much effort. Bro, like this is expected of your star player. You're supposed to play back-to-backs unless you actually have an injury and it's not for load management.
I don't know, man. I don't think back-to-back should exist. It's just removed from the schedule. Like nobody likes them. The players don't like them.
That's true.
The way back-to-backs are set up now is that you're playing the same team most of the time, back-to-back.
Yeah.
And nobody likes watching that. So, Adam Silver, if you're listening, just get rid of back-to-backs. Nobody likes them.
I remember the Lakers played like the Spurs like 3 times in a week or something like that.
Yeah, it was horrible. Like I like Trey Murphy, just not that much. I mean Trey Jones,
yeah.
Trey Murphy plays for the Pelicans. It's a bit late, guys.
He dropped 41 points.
9 threes.
Yeah. All right. Should we talk about the Lakers?
Sir.
All right. So the Lakers are 8-4 since the trade deadline. Their new pieces have been fitting in very well. Especially D'Angelo Russell. He missed 6 games with an ankle injury, but besides that, he's been balling. And I think the key thing about Russell is that he can hit threes consistently and at a very efficient rate. Like he's like in the past 2 games, he shot like 5 for 8, 6 for 8 from 3. And the Lakers have not had a point guard that can do this in so long. Like it's been so long since one of our point guards could consistently make threes at a high clip. And that's something that's very needed. And then also like he doesn't, I think Austin Reeves said this too. He doesn't make any bad plays necessarily where he's just like out of control or he's always just like very calm and can set up the offense even when in like high pressure situations. You think Austin was kind of like taking a shot at Russ there, you know?
I mean, no. I mean, like, that's what you like. That's the duality of Russ. Like, I know we already talked about him, but it's like you're gonna get the out of control stuff, and like the moving at like 90 miles per hour is like what gets him to the rim in the first place. So it's just like when the age starts to catch up to you, and like when you can only hit the 5th gear, not the 6th gear, then more turnovers are gonna happen because the guy in front of you is a rookie and he's got better legs than you. But I mean, in terms of like D'Lo used to have those types of problems, especially those first 2 years in Brooklyn. or that
Yeah.
first that yeah that first those first 2 years in Brooklyn. He had a lot of shot selection issues, and then in Minnesota it cleaned up. And obviously, the beginning of this year, he had a hard time shooting the ball efficiently. But as the year continued, he continued to shoot the ball efficiently, and that's when the trade was made. And yeah, man, he's been playing like he's been shooting. I don't think he's been shooting the ball at a sustainable rate. Like you're not going to shoot 6 for 8 every single night,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I mean, like the nights where you have it is the nights where you need it. So
Yeah. And then also like the other players that we got, or the Lakers got, they got Malik Beasley, who was struggled a little bit shooting wise. He's only had like a couple, maybe 2 or 3 good games from the three, but I'm not gonna count him out just yet. Obviously not, because he's only played like maybe 7, 8 games for us. But I think also the absence of LeBron. I mean, we have D'Lo to kind of like create our offense for us, but
yeah,
LeBron knows how to find his shooters so well. And I mean, obviously Malik is getting so many open looks, but I think that does have a role in this. But yeah, he's struggling shooting wise. Also, when we're talking about shooting right now, also Troy Brown Jr. He's been shooting very well like the past few games. Besides the Knicks game where he shot like 0 for 7. Me and Moody were there to witness that live.
well, that was a bit of a disaster. I think he had
It
1
was
point the whole game was off a free throw.
yeah,
But
it was very bad. But other than that, he's been like very consistent. Defensively, he's been solid as well. But yeah, and then also we gotta talk about Jared Vanderbilt, man. This kid is crazy.
yeah, man, he was
He,
hooping in Minnesota.
oh yeah, he was. I mean, he's been kind of under the radar because he played for Minnesota, but now he's playing in LA, and everyone kind of like seems to recognize him right now. But
Yeah.
since the Lakers got Jared Vanderbilt, they've been the number one in defensive rating
Yeah.
since they got Jared Vanderbilt, which is
Yeah,
extremely good for the. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the Knicks only scored 112 points. Like that's pretty good, even though it seems like they scored a
It
lot.
was just
But
RJ Julius. Well,
yeah,
much.
but him and AD's is like him and AD's like plays 5 now because
We don't
or even
know.
before Mo Bamba got hurt, but Mo Bamba. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about Mo Bamba, but
We don't need to talk about him. He wasn't in rotation. That's fine.
yeah. But I mean, even when Mo wasn't hurt, AD was still playing at the 5 with Vanderbilt, and that lineup with like LeBron, Beasley, D'Lo, Vanderbilt, AD is a very good lineup. And we've only seen like maybe 2 or 3 games from that lineup, but Vanderbilt and AD in the paint is really, really hard to score on. And I think teams have noticed that, and they've kind of stopped attacking as much and settled for shooting at a way at an increased clip. And yeah, I mean Vanderbilt has a really good presence inside, and also on the wing he can guard like Luka, like all these major big name guards. He can guard them very well because he has a lot of length, so he can get a lot of deflections. There's this one possession I remember, I think a couple of nights ago, where he closed out to one guy, and there was another guy in the corner like right next to him, and I think this was against Raptors. Yeah, there's one play where there's a guy on the right wing and a guy on the right corner, both of them unguarded. He closes out to one. The other guy tries to pass to the other guy, and in the corner, and Vanderbilt kind of like jumps back and forth between them, and he's basically guarding 2 people, and he manages to get his hand on the ball and steal it, which leads to a transition 3 for D'Lo. I mean, like his length is really, really good, and the Lakers haven't had someone who can bring this spark and bring this energy on defense in a very long time. So him and D'Lo have made it a crazy impact on the game. All right, so right now we'll talk a little bit about the Suns and KD's return and injury. and then we'll kind of we each have our predictions for the playoff picture. So for the Western Conference, and maybe the Eastern Conference if we get to that. But for now, let's talk about the Suns, man.
And
I think they had 3 games with KD, right?
yeah, they look great.
Yeah, 3 games with KD. They were 3-0 in those 3 games. And KD just looked like he never missed a beat. He he was playing very well in all 3 of those games, but then unfortunately he took a fall in warm-ups and during one of their games, and he's supposedly might be injured for the rest of the regular season, which I mean, I don't
I
know.
mean,
How do you
I don't
think
know.
this
I
affects
don't know
the
if he
Suns
is
right
going
now?
to be
Because
injured for the rest of the season, but I think I would sit him for the rest of the season. Even if he's like, if he gets healthy
yeah,
before the season, I would just sit him. Like, I would make sure your floors are
exactly.
dry as possible. But I've seen
Fire
some
the cleaning
people,
crew, or
yeah. I've seen some people say that even if he, I saw somebody say something today. Wow, that was a tough word. I had to get that one out. That was rough. It took me about 6 tries to get that one out. Um, I saw somebody say today that even if what's it called, if even if he's not healthy by the postseason, then he will play through the injury, which is some type of ankle thing. Um, but I think, yeah, I mean, I'm not super concerned about it. I would just, the thing I'm concerned about is his what's it called, his meniscus. I mean, whatever the thing he keeps tearing. I always forget, bro. The thing he's torn like 2 years straight in a row, like in the same like month of the year. Like, he
ACL,
was the one, not his ACL.
MCL,
Is there one of the things in the leg, just somewhat, and
yeah,
like
something in the
from the
leg.
thigh down to the foot. It's somewhere in there. Um, yeah. So once he figures that out, I think the Suns are going to be really like they had Devin Booker and KD. Like we talked about this last time, how they can't trap Devin Booker anymore. They can't send 2 at him because he kicks it out, and then KD's there. Because Devin Booker was the primary scorer in all the games that KD was playing with them. I think there was still a bit of an integration process when it comes to KD being there. Chris Paul is going to do the Chris Paul things. He's maybe the best snitch ever. Did you see that play on it?
Where
Yeah,
he counted the people on the
yeah.
court. Oh
Oh
my
man.
goodness.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think talent wise, they're a contender. I think Monty Williams is a good coach. Defensively, I don't think they have the number one ball stopper like they did when they had Mikal Bridges, but I think Torrey Craig can fill that role well enough. And you make up for like however many points you're going to give up on defense, you're going to get like twice as back on offense from having Kevin Durant on your team. Like, you have the best scorer
Yeah,
of all time. So, and even in the situations like, for example, Devin Booker's having an off game, Chris Paul is having an off game. Um, let's see, Landry Shamit's having an off game. I don't know. You still have Kevin Durant on this team. Like,
yeah,
um, yeah, man. Like, they're going to be good. I want to see what the team looks like. Like the 3 games wasn't big enough of a sample size for me to like assess what they look like. Oh,
yeah.
my bad, DeAndre Ayton. I didn't mention you, but you don't really need to see 3 days anyway. So
Yeah. Um, and I think I said this in the last episode, but the biggest
mhm.
concern for me is health. And obviously we've already had an issue with that with KD. Obviously it's not their fault that they get injured, but
Yeah,
like these are players that have been known to get injured in the past multiple times. And like this is kind of the thing we keep saying with these like big name teams is that like if they're healthy, they're going to be so good. Like we said that with the Nets before, they weren't always healthy. Like those, like Harden, Kyrie, and KD maybe played like what was it,
18,
like 50, 18
18
games
games.
together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
over 3 years. Well,
So
2.5 years.
yeah, like this is what we keep saying with these big teams, and even like the Lakers too. If the Lakers were healthy all the time, they would be a top 5 seed. Like blah blah blah. If the Warriors were healthy all the time, if the Clippers were healthy all the time, like this is stuff we say
Yeah,
for every team. And I think the Suns do have kind of a luxury right now because I think they're sitting pretty comfortably in the West, and they're not going to drop back to the play-in. Maybe the fifth seed, they might drop back, but even then, like there's still two.
Healthy Devin Booker, I think they win most of the
Yeah,
games.
yeah, they can definitely stay afloat. They're 2 games ahead of the Clippers, which is huge for them right now because, I mean, 2 games means a lot because there's only like, what, 13, 14, 15 games left in the season.
The Nuggets
Yeah,
are
so,
basically the only safe team in the West.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Obviously, the Suns lose like 10 straight. They're going to drop down. But, I think
which
they
they
can
did
definitely
earlier
stay
this season.
afloat.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I mean, they did that earlier this season, but Devin Booker
They
wasn't.
did.
So
But, yeah,
I'm still a bit iffy. Like, into the hamstring soft tissue thing that Devin Booker has. It's been like 3 years in a row where it's like at some point in the season it starts bothering him. I think I
yeah.
talked about this last time too. But yeah, man, I like the Suns. I mean, I don't know if I can call them a contender because I need to see like I mean, obviously talent wise they're a contender. They're up there. But
Yeah.
like, can they play basketball first? Then
Yeah.
like
It's the same thing that happened with the Nets, bro. Same
I mean that's the
exact
thing. Like
thing.
you bet like you the thing is though, like I think if you sit tight this season and you don't trade for Kevin Durant, I think and you had the opportunity to, I think that's a mistake. So like you have to
Yeah,
gamble at some
definitely.
point. Like you ran this squad back after the finals run, and you had the biggest. Like I don't even know if that was an anomaly or if that was like this team isn't built for it. Where like I had them going to the finals in the regular season. They won like 64 games. The team looked good
Hmm.
the whole year. Devin Booker taking another step up, and they just pooped their pants in the playoffs. So that's like literally the only way I can describe it. Um, like I really have no like watching that game 7 was so bizarre. I've talked about this
Yeah.
so many times. I've never seen that happen before. Like they straight up
Mm.
like every time every time I think about the Suns, the first thing that comes to my mind is Chris Paul cuts the lead
Chris
every
Paul,
time.
the 3-pointer.
Yeah,
Wait, have you seen the edit on YouTube where it's like
yeah,
Mike Breen, his
yeah, yeah.
call
Yeah.
is like Chris Paul with the 3 bang,
Yeah.
and they're down by like 30. Oh my
I mean,
god, that was just the utter collapse, man. I don't think we were gonna ever stop talking about how big that was. Like that was
yeah,
huge, bro.
and I mean,
They straight up collapsed.
and I
That
don't
was
like to talk.
bad.
Yeah, and I mean, like speaking of collapse, but I think there's something that's not talked about as much is the way KD kind of collapsed last postseason, like in a
Mm.
way that like I'd never seen that happen before. I think that Boston Celtics team was so talented defensively, like like even Giannis had problems like games 1 and 2, with like because the amount of length they have on that team. Pause.
Yeah.
Um, like
Pause.
and what they can do defensively. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I need to see it happen again before I make a decision. Like, oh, people know how to guard Kevin Durant now. But yeah, man, I don't know. Last year was a weird series. Like, it was four
I
games. It
know.
was four close games, and Kyrie
Eh,
only played well in game 1, and KD played bad for 4 games. It was weird. I can't really.
Yeah,
I don't
like they were
know.
all. Yeah, none of them were blowout games, but they still ended up
Yeah,
getting
it was the
swept.
closest sweep I've ever seen.
Yeah,
But like nobody
yeah,
played well. It was so weird.
yeah.
Like
It was.
because I had the Nets winning that series. I
Mm,
remember I had them winning it in 7. I don't think I had I don't think I had like an idea for how good Boston was going to be in the playoffs. Um, but yeah, I need to see what happens to KD again. Like if they face a team, I don't know if there's like maybe the Clippers is the only team I can think of that has the right defensive personnel to do what do what the Net Celtics did last year. But I mean, they were all up in his face, and like I think he shot horrible. Like he shot horrible from the field. He just couldn't dribble. Like there were times where they were up in his face, like they were full court pressing him, and he like lost his dribble like 5 different times. It was a bizarre thing to watch. But
yeah.
yeah, man, I guess when you like, I mean, it was just meant to be, man. Bizarre playoff performance, bizarre playoff performance. They came
Mm.
together. They're on one team now.
Yeah.
But
Um. Yeah. There's one thing that I remember that I've been wanting to talk about this for so long. This is the last thing we'll talk about before we get into the standings and the playoff seeding predictions. But and this came up because I was thinking about like the Lakers and their off season coming up,
mhm.
and I think with all the talks with Kyrie, with the trade deadline and how the Lakers couldn't get him, Um, and they ended up getting a really good return for Russ.
Mhm.
I feel like the NBA. Oh, actually, first let me say this. I think in the offseason, the Lakers should try their hardest to bring back as many of these guys as they can, and I
Yeah.
think most importantly, bringing back Austin Reeves, extending Russ, or D'Angelo Russell, Rui, Vanderbilt. I think those like four or five guys need to be on the roster,
Yeah. I
and
think.
preferably the whole team. But yeah,
I mean, yeah, I would pay a premium to keep Vanderbilt and D'Angelo on the team. Like deloading finally loaded. Um, so I would, I
he
would try to
finally
keep,
loaded.
I would try to keep Jared Vanderbilt and D'Angelo Russell. Like I would overpay for both of them to keep them on the team. I understand the cap
I'm
situation.
putting Austin Reeves up there.
I know. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like,
I'm put. Yeah.
if we have two guys that we need to sign, I'm picking both of them off after, like, before Austin Reeves. Well, I know we don't want to let
Mm,
another white guy go. It's important that we don't let another one go.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, we
but
can.
yeah, I think you can let Lonnie Walker go on that. What's it called? I always forget what it's called, and it's the $9 million contract that every team has. I can never remember what it's called. The one that's not the minimum, the mid level. Yeah, you can let him go on the mid level. He's
Mid
out of the
level.
rotation at this
Yeah.
point. Um, let's see. Troy Brown Jr. You probably want to keep around. Anyway, this is for the offseason. We'll do this then.
Yeah, yeah.
But
My point, yeah, I just want that was kind of like a smaller thing I want to talk about. But my main point is like I've seen so many people talk about how, oh, now we have such a good package to trade for Kyrie in the offseason. But now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like I would much rather have a really deep roster with D'Lo and Vandy and all these guys rather than packaging D'Lo and some other guys and maybe like a second round pick in a trade for Kyrie.
let's not do
And
that.
I know Kyrie's talent. Kyrie is much more talented than any of our point guards, obviously. But I think the NBA is kind of transitioning. I think we're transitioning from the period of super teams, um, like when we had kind of like the Miami Heat super team, the Warriors, like those types of super teams. I think we're transitioning from that stage into now a stage where teams with the most depth are winning and they're winning the playoffs, they're winning championships. And I think
Mhm.
we're kind of trending in that direction right now.
Yeah.
And we've seen in past experiments, like in the maybe like more recent years, like in the past couple of years, like the
I think
Nets.
the last two
Um,
champions have been like teams with a lot of depth.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and depth is I think the most important priority right now. And I would much rather have two legit superstars and the rest of the team just kind of supporting cast rather than three superstars and like the rest of the team being kind of like nobodies.
Mhm.
And I think that's what the Lakers should prioritize. And like that was kind of my main point, but kind of like the additional point I wanted to make is like the Lakers should prioritize that instead of getting Kyrie. I think D'Lo is very capable at the point guard position. We don't need a third star. A third star is not needed for us right now. Maybe after LeBron retires or leaves or whatever, then we can look into Kyrie. But I think right now,
It
especially
seems
for
like
next year is probably
by the time Brown
what do you say?
retires, I'm not sure if Kai is still going to be in the league. I'm not sure if he'll be.
Nah, he will be. Come on. I mean, at least when I think the LeBron like next
When he
year
retires at
might
the age of
be
50.
LeBron's last year or the year after. I mean, he's gonna keep playing, but I mean, I think he's just gonna go to wherever Bronny goes. So next year or the year, I think the year after next year will probably be LeBron's last year with the Lakers because I think Bronny's gonna play 2 years in college.
Maybe
Um,
what 2 years?
so yeah, I think he will.
I don't know, man. I don't know about 2 years.
Um, but yeah, okay, that's besides the point. But
Yeah.
yeah, what I'm saying is the Lakers need to prioritize their depth, and they do not need to prioritize Kyrie because the NBA is moving away from super teams, and teams with the most depth win And yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Speak on
Now,
Ennis. Speak on it.
it's time to move on to our playoff seeding predictions. The
Mm-hmm.
West is so packed right now. It's not even funny. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I'm looking at the standings right now, if we look at maybe from maybe like 12 to 5,
Yeah.
there's a 3 game difference.
Yeah.
3 game difference. And then 9, 10, 11, all those teams are tied. It's so packed right now. So me and Moody have made our own predictions for what the seeds, playoff seeds will be like when the regular season's over. So you want to go first, or you want to go like back and forth?
Yeah, let's go back and forth.
All right. So for the number 1 seed, who you got?
Number 1 seed. I don't think this is going to change. The Denver Nuggets. I have the Denver Nuggets as my number 1 seed in the West.
All right, I got the Los Angeles Lakers, number 1 seed.
Not even physically possible.
Yeah, it's not. But yeah, the Nuggets obviously number 1 seed. There's not too much to say there. Even though they lost like the last 3, but who cares? They're still gonna be the number 1 seed.
Respect. What's his name? He's my favorite player, bro. I talked about him last podcast too. Hold on, guys.
Respect who? MPJ?
Ennis makes me record at 3:00 in the morning, so actually he has me in a box right now. I'm stuck in a box. And Ennis has got security guards watching all over, so I have no choice but to wake up at 3:00 in the morning, and I have to go to a box in the middle of the middle of the California desert, and that's where Ennis puts me to record. So my brain's a bit foggy right now.
That's why his Wi-Fi is so bad.
Yeah, that's why it's atrocious, because there's nothing within 50 miles of here. Every time I look outside, it's just cold and it's dark. As soon as the podcast ends, these lights turn off, and it makes me walk all the way back. And that's why I never take in time for school. But yeah, who's your second seed?
I'm sorry, man.
It's all right.
All right, my second seed is the Sacramento Kings.
Oh, same. No way, bro. No way.
Let's go.
I also the Sacramento Kings in my second seed. I thought that was a bit unpopular 2 days ago. And then something happened. I don't know what happened. Something happened, but
I don't know. Something with the.
I don't know.
What did you say?
I think like some Powerade athlete. He has a Nike shoe now.
Yeah.
I don't know. So something happened. Anyways, the Sacramento Kings.
Something happened. Yeah. The Kings are playing some great basketball right now. 8-2 in their last 10 games. They just been on a roll. They've been playing some really good teams and beating them. Although they just lost to the Bucks, but they did beat the Suns. They beat the Kings. They beat the Suns. They beat the Knicks. They beat the Clippers like twice in the last 2 weeks. They've been playing some really good basketball, and I think a lot of people are writing them off in the playoffs because obviously they haven't had. No one on their team really has a lot of playoff experience besides maybe like.
Respect Harrison Barnes.
I was about to say Harrison Barnes. Besides Harrison Barnes, they don't have much, and they haven't been in the playoffs as a franchise in the past 16 years. I don't think this is a championship or bust season for them. Not in the slightest.
This is 8th grade. The Sacramento Kings are in 8th grade. Everybody else is in high school. Sacramento Kings are in 8th grade. They're going to graduate next year, but they already have a spot lined up for the varsity team. That's how good they are. You gotta get excited.
Wow, that was a great analogy. That's a great analogy.
Thank you, man. Well, what else do I have to do in the desert? So, It's just making me sick. I don't actually. All the security guards take all of this out as soon as the episode ends. So I just make a couple guesses as to where to go home. I've never ended up in the right place. I've broken the record for absences in my school because Ennis doesn't.
Wow.
So
wow, that is crazy. I don't know about any of that.
It's a fantastic podcast, so I can't even blame him.
All right, number 3. You already know.
I have the Phoenix Suns.
Phoenix Suns. Oof.
Wow.
Alrighty. Um. So yeah, I have the Memphis Grizzlies. We already know all the controversy surrounding their star player. We're not going to talk about it on
But
this episode, and probably not ever.
it's just,
They don't have their star player, but what I will say is, I mean, we don't know when Ja's going to be back, but I think that they have a deep enough roster where they could stay afloat and maintain their seeding right now. I mean, they're second in the West right now, but they're only half a game in front of the Kings, which is why I put the Kings over them.
yeah.
But I mean, they're on a 3-game win streak. Like they're not
Yeah.
playing too bad. Like they have a pretty deep roster, and I think they could definitely stay afloat. I don't think they're gonna drop to the 4th seed at all.
I mean, what's it called? Tyus Jones is the best point guard in the league, so I think there's a pretty easy.
I actually really like Tyus Jones again.
He was great at Duke.
I
I think
I like Tyus Jones and Desmond Bane are two of my favorite players in the league. Like they're really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't bro. How are you putting the Suns over the Grizzlies? I don't understand, bro.
It's
The Grizzlies got a four games, but the Suns don't have KD and the Grizzlies don't have Ja. And the Grizzlies have a much deeper roster than the Suns.
Yeah, but I'm counting on Dylan Brooks to lose at least 4 games. I'm counting on Devin Booker to win 4 games. So if my math adds up, I'm pretty sure the Suns are going to be ahead of the Grizzlies by the time the season ends.
Nah, there's only like 14 games left. The Grizzlies schedule does not look too bad at all. I mean, the only good teams they play is like the Warriors, Mavs, and Clippers twice.
Dylan Brooks.
Facts.
You know, he shooting 38% from the field in 2023. You know how atrocious
Oh my!
You know how bad.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
That means
Oh, it's so funny when he's like 0 for 5 from 3 and he makes one, he like goes crazy.
Well, Dylan Brooks is the guy at the gym that misses every single shot and then he bangs in the 3 for the win. Like it's
Bro, for real.
Yeah, I feel it coming. I feel the Grizzlies' downfall coming without the Powerade athlete. So
Nah. There's 2 little games left. It's not gonna
putting
happen.
him with the 5th CNS. I really did. I thought about putting him at 5, putting him.
Oh my goodness. Bro,
really
it is not happening.
No, I didn't do it though. I really thought about it, but I didn't do it.
They're like, bro, there's
I don't
6
know.
games in front of the 5th seed. I got the Suns at number 4. We already talked about them. Not much to say there. Who do you have at number 4? The Grizzlies, right?
I had the Grizzlies at 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Already kind of.
All right, number 5.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. I got a big one right here.
I got a big one too.
I got the Golden State Warriors.
That's my pick. Okay.
Oh, that was yours too?
Yeah, that was my pick. Yeah. I think the Warriors are going to be the last team that's not in the play-in. By using my brain and my ball knowledge, I think Steph Curry is better than Anthony Edwards, and I don't think the Dallas Mavericks players like to play basketball. So yeah, that's my criteria.
That's, okay.
Yeah.
What about the Clippers? You don't got the
I have
Clippers
them.
at home?
I have them at 5.
Wait.
The Clippers are at 5. The Grizzlies are at 4. The Suns are at what's it called? The Suns are 3. Sacramento's 2.
Oh wait. We're doing the 5th seed, right?
No, bro. My 5th seed's the Warriors. My 6th seed's the Clippers. Oh, my bad. I said it wrong. Oh, the Clippers are the last team to not be in the play-in. Okay, yeah, my bad.
Okay, wait.
Well,
okay,
sorry.
So Clippers at 5, or sorry, Warriors at 5, Clippers at 6.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Same here. Yeah. Same here.
Yeah. I'm also betting on the
Clippers
to not play. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably gonna happen as well. Steph Curry's been playing out of his mind. He's like 14 for 20 in like clutch performances or whatever.
Yeah.
In this season. Yeah, he's been playing amazing for them, and he's single-handedly like winning all their games right now. And I think it definitely he could definitely sustain that at least until the end of the regular season.
Mhm.
But I mean, bro, we got to talk about the 7-26 away
Oh,
record.
bro, I was about to make a joke about that, bro. Do you think this like
Yeah.
the Warriors get jealous when they see other teams' road records? I think they're just like, wow, what is that like? Double-digit wins on the road? My goodness.
That's crazy.
I really like I've Ennis. I've searched the world. Like actually, well, I've searched as far as like you'll let me. So like within like a 5 mile like a 5 minute walk of the box that I'm in.
Yeah,
But
of course.
like nobody has an explanation for the fact that they sometimes play really good defense and sometimes they play really bad defense and they can't win games on the road. They're like a high school team. Like I don't even know what's going on. Like it's so
I know.
puzzling. They're 7-26. This is a group of full grown men and Draymond Green. There's no way they should be losing this many games on the road. Like it actually doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Also, Jordan Poole is probably like the strangest. He's had like the weirdest season
Oh
that
yeah,
I've seen so far.
he's a
Like
strange player, man.
he's a very strange player.
He does that thing that like I really really don't like. Where if he doesn't like what he's looking at, he'll like turn around on his drive. He'll do like a spin move. He'll just reset. He does it all the time. I'm like, why did you do that? Like he doesn't. I don't know. Anyways, guys, it really makes me mad when I'm watching Warriors games. And if you guys watch it, you'll notice it too. Like especially when he's going left, he like doesn't commit to it. He's like ish. But anyway,
Yeah, and you could definitely tell like Draymond and Curry have what's it called? Like they notice that, and sometimes he makes some dumb plays, and he's young, he'll learn. But I mean, Steph Curry got ejected once because he was so mad at Jordan Poole,
yeah,
and he threw his mouth guard, and then Draymond just straight up gave up on a play because he didn't get the ball. Did you see that? Yeah.
man. Bro.
So
when Draymond
he.
shot in the Bucks game, I lost my mind. It reminded me of the playing game.
Oh yeah,
God.
yeah, man. I mean, yeah, Jordan Poole, like, he's a young player. He'll learn, but he's had like the strangest season.
Yeah, or
Um.
the Clippers game where he got mad at KD.
Oh yeah,
Draymond does that all the
yeah,
time.
he does.
Anyways,
But also like Andrew Wiggins, he's had some personal issues, so he hasn't been there.
yeah, he's
So it's been kind of a weird season for the Warriors.
and Bob Myers might be done at the end of the season. So we'll see.
Actually,
You didn't see that? Yeah, he might be done like as president or what GM at the end of the season.
Why?
I mean, I don't know, man. You've been there for he's usually GMs aren't in the same spot for a long time. It's just he's done a really good job. I don't know. But I don't know. You can Google it. That's what I've been seeing. I don't know if it's like verified by Bob Myers' camp, but I mean, actually, no. I don't know why I said that. It wouldn't be verified by his camp, but sources have said that he's supposed to leave at the end of the season.
All right. We already talked about. All right, yeah, and then number 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already talked about the Clippers, but we got them at number 6. And then number 7, this is where it gets interesting. We got number 7.
The Lakers.
Same here, my boy.
This isn't even a biased pick because you guys know how much I dislike.
Oh yeah, he always talks trash about the Lakers, even though he's a Lakers fan.
Yeah, on the what's it called? I mean, I think I don't know what to say about the Dallas Mavericks, man. They're such a puzzling organization. I like. Okay, listen. Kyrie Irving is like in my top 5 favorite basketball players to watch that's ever put their hands on a basketball. But if he doesn't play, and if Luka's thigh contusion or like playing too much Overwatch is going to lead to like they were above 500 like a week ago by like 3 games, and now they are under 500. They just need to play.
Yeah.
Like if Luka and Kyrie play, though, I know the record is bad, but if Luka and Kyrie play, they'll win. It's like a really simple formula. Like little do they know, Jason Kidd, that if your best players play, you actually win games. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before, but I mean, sometimes it's not in their control. Also, Christian Wood's minutes have been like up and down recently, but yeah, like I have Dallas as 8 still, but
yeah, me too, bro. We have like the same exact standings.
Yeah. I think, do you have the Pelicans at 9?
I do not. That's where
I have
we
the
differ.
Pelicans at 9, and then Sorry, I'm revealing
I
everything.
don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
My bad, bro. My bad.
All right. Let me. Okay, so the Mavs. Okay, let's talk about the Lakers. All right, we already did, but like, I'm putting in number 7 because I feel like they have a very easy schedule coming up. They only play like, I mean, the only legit teams they play in their next maybe 13 games, which is like the only games they have left, is the Mavs, who have a lot of questions right now. We just talked about, and then the Suns with KD injured, and then the Clippers and the Suns again. And everyone else is like the Jazz, the Rockets twice, the Bulls twice, the Timberwolves, the Thunder, the Magic.
Pat Bev is on the Bulls. Gotta watch out.
That's true.
Gotta watch out.
Yeah. So they have a very, I think, what is it, like the fourth easiest schedule since the trade deadline. So they have a very favorable schedule. They're playing very well right now, besides the Knicks game that they just lost. But even in that game, they didn't play too bad, except for AD, who just didn't really show up. But like, even without LeBron, they've been playing very well. And I think they definitely can get that 7th seed. I think the 6th seed was possible before, but right now it's just the Warriors have been playing extremely well, and I think they've kind of locked that up for now. I mean, we'll see. There's definitely a lot of games left, but I think they're
If Steph plays, then they'll win. Like, or they have a much higher chance of winning. So.
Yeah, but I think the 7th seed is a very good spot for the Lakers because, number one, if they win that first game that they play against the 8th seed, then they get the 7th seed, which is probably against the Grizzlies or the Kings, which is, in my opinion, that's like the best matchup they could hope for because obviously you don't want to play the Nuggets, you don't want to play the Suns with KD on their team, you don't want to play the Clippers. I mean, the Kings and the Grizzlies are the two teams that you probably want to play. No disrespect to any of those teams, but for one, they don't have much playoff experience, and number two, the Grizzlies probably won't have their star player. So that's like the best matchup the Lakers could hope for, and the 7th seed is a very good spot for them, considering they're at 13 like a week ago.
I think the 7th seed probably. I think I'd actually prefer it to the play-in right now. To the what's it called? To the 6th seed.
The 6th seed.
Yeah. I know what's it called. Just in case Phoenix does move up and KD does play, I think the Lakers probably want to be in a spot in the 7th seed and just hang around there. That means they do have to win games, though. Just wanted to let the Lakers know that. So next time me and Ennes show up, can you?
They've been winning, bro.
Yeah, if you could win the game.
They've been winning.
By the way, I've gone to 2 games with Ennes and they've lost both, and every game that I've went to, they've won. So let's just keep that in mind. Anyways,
bro, come on.
Who's your 8th seed, Ennes? Oh, it's Dallas, right? We talked about this.
Yeah, Dallas. I mean, like you said, like when Kyrie and Luka play, they're very good. But I mean, bro, we say that about every single team in the West. Like Clippers, if Cole and PG play,
I've never seen. Okay, it's a thigh contusion. This isn't a real injury. this is
every time someone.
His leg. This isn't a real injury.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We already talked about them. So yeah, I'm number 8. Number 9. This is tough, but
you got the Pelicans.
You got the Pelicans. I got the T-Wolves at number 9.
Okay.
I think they've been playing well enough to stay in the play-in race, and Anthony Edwards has been playing very well. I know Cat's been dealing with some injuries. Rudy Gobert has been playing okay. Naz Reid has been playing insane. He's a bucket. And that 9 seed, even though they're at like what is it, like the 7th seed right now, I think they will drop down because they do have kind of a tough schedule coming up. They got the Celtics, the Knicks, Warriors, Kings, Suns.
They're 1.5 games back. They're 1.5 games ahead of the Lakers, and then 1 game ahead of Dallas as of March 13th.
Yeah. So I do think they'll drop down to the 9th seed, but I don't see them dropping out of the entire plane. I think they're good enough to stay afloat.
All right, who's your 10th seed? I actually want to see who this is. I'm very curious.
Okay, this is gonna shock you.
Okay.
But my number. Wait, are you gonna explain your number 9 seed or
Oh,
talk
my
about the
number nine.
Pelicans?
I don't think Zion's going to play for the rest of the season. I think he's probably out. But I think CJ McCollum
Yeah.
and Brandon Ingram and Trey Jones and Herb Jones. No. Trey
Murphy.
Trey Murphy.
Yeah.
And Herb Jones and a guy from Australia who I can't remember his name right now, but he's really good and I like him a lot. Who played in Australia the year before. His name starts with a D. We're gonna get there. Okay, let's Jose Alvarado.
Darion or
No,
Dyson
not
Daniels. That's his name.
Yeah, Dyson Daniels. Yes, bro. I knew there was 2 Ds. Okay, Dyson Daniels, who I like a
Pause.
lot. Okay, all right, bro. Okay, you got it. Somebody take us off Spotify. Dyson Daniels, and then OKC. Oh wait, no, not. Oh, wait, hey now.
Whoa! Oh!
Whoa there, Moody. Settle down.
You just leaked it.
Hey man, I leaked it before Woj did. Yeah, I really like that. CJ's tough.
right.
CJ buckets.
All right, respectable. All right, at my number 10 seed, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah, I got the OKC number 3, the 3 MVP team. I have.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the Pelicans making the playoffs at all. And I say that because obviously, I mean, you said Zion is probably not coming back. And I don't think this team is good enough to win like most of their games coming up. The Thunder and the Pelicans are so similar in that they have so much good young talent, but I think the Thunder, I think SGA is, I mean, he's just phenomenal, bro.
Super.
SGA is such a talented player. Josh Giddey as well. Jalen Williams has been playing amazing. What?
Jalen Williams, both of them.
Yeah, both of the Jalen Williamses have been playing amazing. Jalen Williams is just a rookie, and he's been playing great for them. He's not going to get Rookie of the Year, but
that's what I said,
you know,
and I'm keeping it that way. Rookie of the Year.
Okay,
Last time crazy. I checked, the Orlando Magic are 13th, and the Oklahoma City Thunder are 1 game out of the play-in.
So. The Magic don't have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
You're right. They have Franz Wagner, who's better. So they should be winning more games.
Yeah, but I'm a firm believer in the Thunder. I love Isaiah Joe, who's shooting like 44% from 3.
Should have been.
He should have been, yeah. But I love their team, man, and especially, bro, when Chet comes next year, and then, man, I'm a firm believer in the Thunder. I think they're gonna secure that 10th seed. I don't think the Pelicans are gonna make it. I say what I said.
And then, here's a final award that we didn't plan, but I'm giving out. As for a team that needs everybody to be sent to the G League, probably to a camp where they can learn how to play proper basketball, the Houston Rockets can be sent there. Because I hate watching the Houston Rockets so much. But yeah, that's just a little award I like to give them. I think they deserve it.
Hey, bro, they just beat the Celtics. Come on now. They just beat the Celtics.
They did, man. They did. Please,
fully healthy.
Steven Silas, I'm talking to you. I'm gonna look at you. I'm gonna look at you in the eyes for a second. So you have the second overall pick, and Jabari Smith Jr. and you haven't been using him. So if you could get on that just for like the last 15 games, that'd be fantastic. Thank you, because I'm guessing the front office probably wants to see how good he is as a basketball player. So if you could do things that like help him, great. Thanks, Steven. I'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Next episode, we shouldn't even talk about any of the good teams. We should just be talking about the Pistons and the Rockets. The two sorriest
Pistons, Rockets, Spurs, all the bad teams.
Yeah, bro.
Let's talk about all of them.
Get the Little Caesars Arena out of here. My goodness. Anyways,
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Hoop Talk. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Make sure to check out our TikTok, our YouTube channel, and stay tuned for our next episode. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.